Well, YouTube, you missed a little bit. I didn't film the beginning parts of taking the shroud off. Because mainly I didn't feel like it. So, why well, get over it. There's actually more to it than I thought there was. I've got that screw out. I had to take the tank out to get to these back here. Already got those out. Got to take the screw out of the fuel pump. Take the fuel pump off, and then any more screws, and then I'll have this thing off of here. Now, getting that tank out of there was no fun because it's such a tight gap between the back of the motor and the dash panel there. But I got it. Had to loosen the cap up and squeeze the tank to let some air out. But I don't guess it was that bad. It could have been worse. So, alright, I'll go ahead and get this the rest of the way off of here and see what it's like underneath. Well, I got the shroud off of there, and wasn't exactly what I expected to find, but at least it's not too dirty. It's just dust mostly. Got a plastic intake manifold. Whole rat's nest of wires. I've never taken one of these apart either, so I don't know exactly what I'm looking at. But I don't see what would take all these wires, but what do I know? I mean, you got red wire here going to the, where's that going? It's zip tied to the intake, and it goes down underneath the carburetor. And you got the purple wire. I've already traced it. It goes around and goes up under the flywheel. White wire is ignition, I think, or kill wire coming off the coil, because there's one coming off of each coil. Actually, no, wait. There's two coming off of this one. One goes to this coil over here, and the other one comes around, goes right into this bunch of wires here that then go to a wire harness or to a connector and go down underneath everything. So I have no clue. Of course, this has warning lights for everything. Oil pressure, let's see what else. Oil pressure, PTO, because it's got electric PTO, park brake, and battery. So, plus it has some sort of charging system to charge the battery back up. I noticed that earlier. I never knew that. I figured it did, but I don't know that much about these V-twins or all this sophisticated wiring. Give me something basic and I'm happy, but you give me this stuff and I get lost. I guess I could learn it. I mean, it's not like it'd be that difficult to learn. Wiring diagram would sure come in handy. Flywheel's all rusted. I guess that's from living outside. I can get it to turn over here. Don't want to. There it goes. It's really hard to turn over by hand. I guess that's why the starter struggles so much. High compression, I guess. But I've always been curious to see exactly what the guts of these look like as far as the wiring and how the intake's routed and everything. So, overhead valves. Somewhere in here there's push rods and all that fun stuff. That's probably underneath. So I'm not taking it any further apart, because the more I take off of here, the more I've got to try to put back on. So I just want to take that shroud off and see exactly what I'm dealing with. So now put it back together and we'll go from there. Alright, so guess that's it for now. Later. Something else I forgot to mention in that last clip, and I think it's kind of not only weird but stupid. These front two screws up here and the two that hold the fuel pump on are metric, 10 millimeter. The rest of the screws that hold the shroud on are standard, 5/16. So I mean, what sense does that make? Why have them metric and standard? So I just thought that was kind of odd, stupid, strange, whatever you want to call it. Steering column's a little loose. Got a little bit of play in it too. But oh well, it works. I don't know exactly why it's loose, but it looks like, what was that? Oh, ratchet fell off the motor. If you can see, no, you can't see. The shaft where it comes through the dash panel here, it might just be wallering out that hole a little bit. I mean, this thing's got almost 75 hours on it, and granted, that's not a lot. It's been used and abused and used some more. So, I mean, that, like in that last video, the hauling the wood up the hill there, I mean, that, you know, that was probably a couple 100 pounds. One load I took up there, I decided to see, you know, if I could get the front of the tractor off the ground. I stepped on the tongue of the trailer and it picked the nose of the tractor right up. So I barely made it, I guess. Thing sure pulls better with the deck on it though. I figured it would be getting hung up all the time, but that weight of that deck sure helps. So alright, I just thought I'd mention that those screws are half metric, half standard. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. If anybody knows why they do that, comment and let me know. I mean, it's not really that big a deal, but what the hell. Every comment helps. So like I said in the video the other day, I'm still looking for a project. I'm going to check Craigslist today. Everything I've found on eBay is all business, you know, dealers trying to sell stuff, and or any private seller, they want too much for it. So I'll use Craigslist. So alright, later. Alright YouTube, something strange is going on now. I had everything back together, and mind you, I didn't unplug anything. I didn't, you know, mess with the wires at all. I've had to pull the gas tank back out. I went to start it up, nothing. No lights, no nothing. So I was snooping around to make sure, you know, I didn't pull any connectors loose or anything like that. And I found a fuse. There's one wire that, let's see, there's a wire, here it is, it takes a fuse. I've already pulled the fuse out, and that leads to the ignition switch. So I pulled the fuse out, and I thought, you know, it was running earlier. I was using it earlier. And I don't know how well you can see that, but if you hold it up to the light,